My first impression is I was really nervous flying when I'm flying here because I heard that the people receive a lot of good feedback, but I was really nervous. But when I first really like look into the eyes of the Samare Sukare Lahn Mah, the Sukare Lahn Mah, I can feel like the warmth and all the crew or even the media. I can feel like very homey. Sometimes I wanted to speak Thai because it feels so homey. I feel really good to be here. Thank you. Okay. Many years before, I was working for GDH for Bad Genius the series with the producer Boonnitipat and Chira Malikun, and they were the producer of this studio, and they were very happy working with me. So we were talking about new project, which should be which they want me to direct a movie, and at the same time, there's a scriptwriter of GDH. His name is Tosapon. He wrote a script. He wrote himself a script and sent it to studio. And it was like a short story about him and his grandmother. But the story wasn't like this. Not wasn't like in the movie. We developed it afterward. But the heart of the script also make my heart cry. So when I received this from the writer and the producer, I really love this story. And the first question is, I think everyone might feel the same, that is this movie gonna be a blockbuster? Is it gonna even make some money? Because it's about a family and a drama, a little comedy about life, slice of life. But we love the story so much. We love the feeling of it so much. So we want to make it anyway. And even during the shooting production, even Billkin himself, he didn't care at all about how big this movie is gonna be because he loved the story so much and the team too. So during the shooting, we were trying to just like put our heart in it. We try to bring our memory about our loved ones into the production, into the post production, and even to the promoting process. So yeah, that's the very short story about the destiny about the journey of this movie. And now it's has been here and I've received so many good feedback. So it's still a little surreal to me. Yeah, I was stunned. Even until today, I think I'm still stunned because I never made a movie before, and I never visit an audience abroad before. So I was stunned, and I talked to Bilkin too, and all of my team about the viewer that is continuously increasing every day. That what is it true? We never dreamed about this before. In Thailand, we might predict something, but here, no, not at all. So I'm stunned, and I feel blessed by this. We have many religions in Thai. Usually, it's based on the religious of the family that is holding the funeral. Me personally, I'm Chinese. I'm like Thai Chinese from Thai Chinese family, and there are even more like subculture in Thai Chinese family. The one you see in the movie is from Teochew. Yeah, it's like when you want to bring the dead one to the graveyard, you have to like knock on the coffin to let them to let to make sure that the spirit can will not get lost along the way. That's why M keep knocking on the coffin. But if you are like in the majority of Thai people, when someone died, we pray for a few days, and then we burn the body and cremate the body, and then spread the ashes into the river usually. Actually, for this movie, I write. There's two person who write this. Yes, my scriptwriter and me. We write together. Actually, for this movie, we write in total for about 20 drafts, and in each draft we have like 1.1, 1.2, or like 5.1, 5.2b, 5.2c, and I think almost if you combine every draft together, it's almost like 100 drafts,
Wow.
something like that. So, but every draft, but it's a good thing because I never done film. I never write a script for film before. In every draft, when we change something, we try to keep the best. We try to keep good thing from every draft. So by the end of 100 drafts, we already got so many good things, and we try to like collect it. Try to like make everything into this 100 drafts. Maybe about 2 years. 2 years. Okay. Actually, when I was small, since I was small, I lived with my grandmother. But I moved out because it's easier. But after I started moving, in first few drafts, I found out that I couldn't really resonate with the plot because I have been too far from my grandmother. So I moved back in the house, which forced me to like talk to her, maybe even a little bit, but every day, and try to like pick something up from her, like from her behavior, from her word kind of talking, and all of the kind of talking come from my grandmother. The way she the way she be like sarcastic, or sometimes like doesn't make you feel like she cared about her at all, but she actually did deep inside that kind of personality that I picked up from her, and yeah, the structure of the house is already there. The street, the very narrow street, which even the car cannot pass, is already there. It was scouted by our team, but the set inside was built, was almost totally renewed by our production designer. Yeah, and when he built, many people ask that why it looks so real, right? Because when we work together, we work really closely every department. When but the brief that we always talk a lot about is that everyone who read the script, after you read the script, everyone should like take what they have in their memory of their loved one and then recreate it in this movie again. I don't really like tell him, the production designer, that you should do this or you should do that. I want this, I want that. I don't really do much of that kind of thing because he's really good at it. I just always keep on telling him and other production team that bring out your memory, bring out your memory. Anything, I want it all, and then we choose it afterward. Me personally, it's two things. The first thing is that I want to do this because it's a challenge that I gave myself while directing this movie, that I wanted to, when the audience watched it, I want the audience to feel that it's their movie. Not that I am like the director who direct this and this is my style, and I try to like put it to the audience, but I try like to create something which this kind of this kind of this shape of sculpture, when watched by different angles by the audience, they can see their own story reflected back to them. This is the challenge that I gave myself, and it's really hard for me because it's my first movie. Really hard to create this shape of sculpture to look like this. And the second thing is to direct, uh, to direct an actor and actress in this movie. Actually, it's not that difficult. That not in the term of hard, but it's in the term of come up with the method to work with them. The method that we try to, I work with acting coach, and we try to come up with many workshops to shape. We are not, we try not to do anything on set, but we try to do a lot of workshops before we go on the set, and we put a lot of effort to build the workshops, to shape the actor and actress into being natural. And so on set, it's very easy on set. but it's like difficult along the way. We 25 day took like 2 months to shoot, but we prepared. Billkin himself uh, took almost like half a year to do the workshop, like once a week, or even when he's so busy, he because he's so busy, right? So me and the acting coach, we give him homework that every day he has to like talk to the camera as he is M, put in the character and become M, and then talk to the camera about what he actually mm, found out that day about himself. And he keep doing that for like half a year, maybe, and many workshops. Yeah, because he's so charming. He's really charming because I never worked with him before, and we never talk a lot. But we went on like an outing of the company once, and he was like playing with his friend, old friend, and they were like laughing out loud, and he was like joking about something. I was watching from afar, and I was, oh, he's so charming. But at that time I didn't have any project in mind. But after like I finished the script, more than like maybe 2 or 3 years after that, I thought the producer thought about him, and so we put him into like taping. Yeah, and I am so and after we do the taping, and that's when we found that he's so charming. When we when I wrote the script, the thing that this script is give me a very strong sense is that the acting in this movie has to be very natural because it's about everyday life. So I was trying to find actor and actress who will play Em and Ama that must already have a good chemistry before I jump in and do anything. I try to find that, and after we got Bilkin first, and then we took so long time to find Ama. There are many candidates, but she's the only one who, when she was with Bilkin, and it looked so cute. They're so cute. I barely do anything, just them play game, like clapping or like teasing. And Bilkin is so like he's so playful. We always like make jokes about her, and she felt comfortable hearing him joke about her. That's a good chemistry. So there's a lot of candidates, and many of them are good, but none of them give this kind of vibe. And after we got her, actually because Ama she never started anything before, but her what's it called, like she's so gifted. She's so gifted, but not in the sense that she's so good with acting, but she's so gifted in the sense that she's so natural. She doesn't doubt about anything, and she doesn't even understand the concept of acting. Like, I want to be this, I want to do that, I want to make this kind of point on this kind of face. She just be herself. So when we found her, we just like convincing her, no, like let her read the script, and then we talk a lot about the character of Ama, what she has been through. After she understands everything, she just become Ama naturally. And on set, I I just have to like keep repeating to her some, because she's the Ama, she's so sweet. The Usa, the real Usa is so sweet. She's like very skinship, very like touchy, very sweet. She likes to hug, while Ama in the movie like hates it. Like, so every time like she put her hands up like, I'm like, no, cut.
Oh.
Cut. And I'll go like whisper to her that, don't forget that you're Ama, you're not Usa. So many times that I have to do this, but it's not like, no, you do this, do that. No, it's not that kind of like directing. We put the CCTV up there with the God because it's the only spot that's high enough. We try to think like M think. And about the pomegranate, in Chinese belief, this the pomegranate tree is like a sacred tree. After, for example, if we go to funeral and we come home, we will like put leaves and then to like wash over our body to repel like bad thing. Yeah, so it's like a kind of like holy tree all rounder. Like itself gives fruits that taste nice and it's very like a durable tree and has a lot of good meaning. So you usually plant it in front of the house. For favorite film, uh, the first one is I'm a fan of Apichatpong, Weerasettakul. Uh, Actually, four of them can be full film, but it's a tropical melody. It's my favorite. Another one maybe from Naomi Kawase. He's a Japanese director. The Morning Forest, and maybe Pastoral to Die in the Country is from Shuji Terayama, and maybe The Ballad of Narayama from Shohei Imamura. Yeah, I love Japanese cinema. Actually, there's so many feelings that build up inside me, but I think it's still the process of learning because it's my first film and I don't have any like nothing to compare to from my experience. I try to impress the audience, but I try to impress the audience all along the way. With I try to find new methods to challenge myself to impress the audience. So when it was well received in Thailand, I was surprised. But when it's well received in Indonesia, I was like, of course, I'm speechless. I'm very happy, but it makes me think a lot, think a lot about people in a way that we are like we are different, but we are the same, and how my role as a filmmaker can use this to process the new film. I shake a lot of feedback. When it was famous in Thailand, I didn't shake this much. But it was when it was in Indonesia, I've shake a lot and I tried to like Google Translate everything. And sometimes Twitter doesn't let me. I have to like copy it and then paste it in the application. And I was impressed how the warm sense that Indonesian people give back to me and my team and the actor. The comment that I impressed is that people tend to share with me the story of their grandmother and how this film healed them, and how this film healed them because all along the way we during the editing process we try to with the editor we try to like wrap everything in the film to give it last direction, and the editor tell me one word that I think editor said that I think this film heals people, and that's exactly the feedback that I get from here. This movie is not based on my story or on my scriptwriter stories, but it's based on the people in our lives, character. What we try to create in this movie is not the story, but the character in the movie. We try to create the most, as much as we can. We try to create the most human character in the story and let them lead the plot. For me personally, the Ama in the movie, the chemistry between the M and Ama based on my ama. She's like this kind of ama. Yeah, and Billkin himself has a very strong trait. He has a very strong personality that he is a very observing. He's been very observing. He cares, but he doesn't show that he cares. So I try to develop the character of M based on himself. During the writing, I try to like come up with the style of the music that would be scoring, even though it might work or might not work. And it turns out that during when I was writing, the sound of like just solo piano, unexpectedly when we were like editing, the producer Siramalakun, he was seeing the footage because he didn't go out to the production with me, but he watched the footage and watched the clip or watched the sequence that the editor did, and he said without me being in the room that he thinks that the scoring should be very minimal, like just like maybe like only one piano and exactly the same. So we got the direction from that, and we talked with the music composer. We want to do this, and he's very good at playing piano, like conducting melody from piano, and he's really happy about it. So, and the direction, the most challenging things in this is that everything is so abstract. The feeling is so abstract. So I try to get back to the feeling that when we were working with the production team, that I want I want the feeling of the guy who works in this department put out on the table. Like the production design that I told you that his memories for a loved one. Also from the music composer that I want that feeling from him after seeing the movie, and I want him to compose the feeling that he has for it. Not like exact briefing. I want this and want that. I don't do that in this movie. So when things get off the track, it's very difficult to communicate. How is it not working? We can like, it doesn't work. I don't know why. I don't know why doesn't work. So maybe we play something. Can you play something out? Me and my editor, we just sit by the music composer because we're like very close. And he'll just like play something. Oh, this is so good. And then we develop from that.
Okay.
It's very challenging but also very fun. About the kanji, the scriptwriter, his grandmother really did sold kanji for all her life. So that's what we are trying to keep in this story.
Bawa billkin, bawa billkin.
Oh, I really want to. He himself really want to come. I talk to him a lot. He really want to come, but he's so busy right now. I wish I could. I wish I could. Actually, I while making this movie, I try not to like come up with a message to say to the audience, because I want the audience to get the film by themselves. But I think the reaction, I don't know how many people will get to see more in Indonesia, but the reaction that I got already makes me feel like there's a hope. There's a hope in that we are different, but we are not. Maybe we're not different at all. We are not like divided by country, by area, but we are like living in the same system, which makes us suffer from the same thing, but also see light in the same thing. Yeah, that's what I get from the reaction of the Indonesians. Terima kasih banyak.
Terima kasih. Oke.